Progressive presents Mindfulness with Flow.
Before you lies a beautiful meadow. In that meadow, Progressive Direct has placed its auto insurance rates alongside those of competitors. You select the lowest rate and feel a great sense of calm. A great sense of...
Compare Progressive Direct rates with competitors' rates so you can rest easy. Visit Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to tonight's show. It's the Barry Black Community Reloaded. I'm your humble host, West Coast Wolf. And tonight we got a real good topic that we're going to discuss, the future of sound-minded Black America. Now, there's going to be some things. Tonight's show is going to be a little different. And I want to go over some things that's not going to make you too happy. But we need to talk about those things anyway. I've come to the realization of a lot of things in my life. And I want you to think about your life and your family's life. So, with that being said, our people are dying at an alarming rate on the streets, in the communities. Our intelligent Black leadership is growing older, retiring, and passing on. we need to really think about our future here in America. And I mean really think about it. Because it comes down to a calculation. You see, at some point in the past, I used to do life insurance. And there's a mortality rate that's calculated based on your age, your health condition, background, even some things, ethnicity. And I want you guys to understand a few things. Black people in America, we don't live as long as white people in America. And there's several reasons behind that. Some of it's because we've been oppressed, we're being brutalized, we're eating cheap and bad food for ourselves, and because some of us are too poor to get the right proper diet where we live. Some of us just don't know because we brought up a certain way, and that's just how we eat. Some might say some is the slave food we got to break away from the slave food. That's another argument. But I want to talk about things more directly tonight. I want to talk about your age. The life expectancy, I believe, of a black man in this country average is 74 years. 74 years old. And I know for a fact most of our leadership in the black community in America right now, as it stands, those who look to those leadership with money and they have a high approval rating, they have a following, most of these people are aging. We're talking 50s and 60s, some 70s. I want to ask people on this call tonight, just think about this for a minute. How old are you? How many years do you have left to live? This is something I ponder every day. What am I doing to further my people along? Am I just going to let my life and my time go by? I have a friend. I have several friends in Africa. And it was very alarming to me when I spoke to this person this morning. And just a blink of an eye, I turned away from the video chat, and this person was crying. And I said, "Why are you crying?" They just received word that her cousin had just passed away. And I just stopped for a minute. What can I really say besides, "I'm sorry this happened to you. My condolences." This person was somebody they played with from young to adulthood. This person is someone dear to their heart, same age. So it made me think about a lot of things. This person's about maybe 23, 24 years old that passed away. And I want everybody here on this call tonight to understand we are not promised the 74 years old black men in America, and women, I believe it's a little higher, maybe 79. We're not promised that, family. And because we're not promised that, we have to really calculate our lifespan and what we're doing with our life in this country. See, many things are happening at a very fast pace, while most black folks are just watching these things happen. Either we move or get run over by our oppressors or the foreign competition. What is your resolve, family? What do you resolve to do every day? Because I do this show twice a month, first and third Monday. And I notice when I do this show, we have a lot of the same questions. You see, one thing you'll know about me, I don't speak with confusion. I'm pretty confident in what I say and what I do. I'm not confused at all, family, on anything what we should be doing right now with our time. I work very hard every day to ensure that I'm planting a seed in my people's heads in the most positive light to help us to move forward. I'm tired like everybody else is tired. But that's no excuse for us to lay down, family. There's no excuse for us to lay down. My partner CJ works hard, still finds time to put the work in needed to find more troops for the team. It's a very tiring process. But family, one thing black folks have to understand in this country, we must stay consistent at what we do. Because white supremacy is always consistent at what it does. I'm speaking to you very definitively tonight. Because I need you to understand something. Most of the intelligent black leadership, most intelligent black people at this current time in America, 35 and up. That's the truth. Yes, there's a lot of young millennials out there. They campaigning, they march. I get it. But a lot of them don't know what the hell they're doing, you see. But they feel like they got to be doing something because a lot of leadership in the baby boomer generation has laid down. They laid down figuratively. They laid down emotionally. And some have laid down to rest permanently. So I want you to really think about what I'm telling you tonight because I'm being very, very, very forward with you. I'm in my 40s. Most people that follow intelligent black thought in America is 35 and up. Fast forward 30 years from now, you will be a senior citizen if you're 35 today. Okay? The way America is going right now, family, there's no guarantee you will see your 65th birthday. It'll be a blessing for you to see it in this country. Do you understand what I'm telling you tonight? What I'm also telling you is you have to get on the good foot, as James Brown would say. Get on the good foot and make something happen. Pull some people to the side. Gather some people of like-minded, sound-minded, intelligent black people. That's very key. We represent the BABC. Not every black person, the sound-minded, intelligent ones. Black America. The part that's dying off. Okay? Even in Noah's Ark, they couldn't bring everybody. So what I'm telling you tonight, family, be very careful how you spend your time. Be very careful of your resolve of going and putting your best foot forward in your job at your office, in corporate America, in private contracting, consulting. Because you go far enough to the top, family, there's a white face and you're a black face in a white place. And they won't have any idea what they have planned for you down the road here, family. You think that you're doing great. You are just living out your usefulness to these people. And I don't want to, disrespect anybody who has white family members, who has white friends. But the reality is this. You go high enough in the corporate chain of affairs in the corporate America world, high enough, you will meet somebody who don't want you there. You can be the best worker. You can be the most studious person, sharpest individual. But if you break, you bend, you stumble wrong, there's somebody that'll move you. Now, I predicted this long ago, 2 years maybe, when Barack Obama is leaving the office, all whitewash media will come back to the front. You see, they had all the black faces on CNN, MSNBC, some even had Fox for some reason. They had Fox, some black faces, Stacey Dash type, whatever. These people were authorities on black engagement to the white supremacy society that we live in. But now President Barack Obama has stepped down. Al Sharpton's Politic Nation show from every day is moved to Sundays or the weekend. They got rid of what her name, Michelle Gellar, whatever her name is. I forgot her name. She got light-skinned chick with the braids all the time. She got canned. The View lost some people. People just want to realize, they're not renewing your contract. Let me tell you something, family. This has all been a plan. They just use you until you're no longer useful to them. Nobody has planned to share any kind of power with black people in this country. So back to my original thought with you. What is your resolve, family? You ain't got 30 years to toddle your time. You don't have the time, the energy to keep going on, muddling through your day, tired when you get off work, and don't want to do anything for your black family. Because the black family is the only one going to feed you in the end. You see, in the end, the white supremacist society that we live in, legacy is all that matters. That's it. Everybody's joining these collectives with all these people with different backgrounds, whatever. That sounds great. It does. If the world was a different place, I'd be all for it. I'd be marching too. But here's the reality that most of our black folks have not yet understood, and a lot of them are going to die off, and the children will be faced to deal with those realities. Like Martin Luther King, when he realized his error in judgment, he changed over a new leaf, and they killed him, you see. He realized, what do you say? I think I'm gathering my people into a burning house. It's true. Some of you on this call will not realize your errors until it's on your deathbed. See something happen in your family that's going to strike you in a different way. We see all these things. I've already witnessed a lot of them. I've already seen them. And I just want my people to really wake up this time. Some people think they're awake, but when you're really awake, you focus on black people first. And I'm sorry. And I'm going to say a shout out to Brother Sean King, great dude, doing great things. Shout out to him. But I'm going to tell you something. Even for him to believe he could change the world and everybody can be all as one, I'm sorry, that's not going to happen at this current time. With the people that we have in office, the leadership that we have in Congress, fighting that fight will get you 2, 3, 4 steps forward and then reset as soon as the next people of power come into play. They have no plan to share power with black people, to give black people any kind of leeway in this country. We must do everything for ourselves. I was talking to a good friend of mine, shout out to Sienna, talked about this in detail. We're talking about how, the black man and black woman have relationship issues, and we're talking about how she said, well, it makes us look weak as a people when the black man goes to get the white woman or whatever outside the race. I said, okay, I can see that being an issue. I said, but what about the black man's constant attack by white supremacy directly? And she agreed with that. But I said, you know what? She said, well, it could be over if we all just given up. If the black race is doomed to the point where we're getting breeded out by other races and we're diluting our population, it's pretty much over in America. I said, well, that's a possibility for us in America, but we do have a couple of things we can do. And I shared with her what those things were. We must insulate and isolate ourselves from unintelligent black thought. And I'm going to just tell you something. I've got to bring this part up about this BART situation. These teens, they say 40 to 60 teens at Oakland Coliseum BART station got on the BART, a Dublin Pleasanton train, head bound, and beat up a few passengers on the train. They made a big old thing about this on all the papers and news, whatever. Here's the thing, family. I read an article and listened to the video. In the video, family, it says 40 to 60 people, right, on the headline. The train operator said it was about 30 individuals got on the train. Now, I'm going to just say, for all intents and purposes, the number shouldn't matter that much, but the media doubled the actual number of what happened. But my point to you is also this. If they can coordinate 30 young people to board a BART train and to rob people on that train and get away without a trace, without getting caught, anything, we have to ask ourselves, family, can we only organize for negative things? Can our young people only organize for negativity? Well, let me tell you what's coming down the pipe, family. If this is our future generation coming behind us, those who are getting older, those who are getting ready to retire, this is the future for us, we're in some serious trouble. Brother Darius Young said on Governor Jerry Brown's way out, he signed 2 documents to spring forward the building of 2 more prisons in the state of California. Now, why would he do that? White folks in this country who run this country in government do not make plans to build prisons they're not going to have people to fill them with. So what I'm telling you tonight is, if you are retired, facing retirement, kids in college, kids out of college, fine. Maybe you're 45, maybe 50, maybe 60, fine. 30 years from now, If God bless you with the life, 60 now, you're 90, whatever. 50 now, you're 80, whatever. 40 now, you're 70, whatever. If he blesses you with another 30 years in this country, how do you want to spend your retirement? Will you spend your retirement getting overrun by the young, fatherless boys and girls of this country? Because I'm going to tell you, if they can organize 30 young people to do detriment and destroy and destructive and rob people on the train, why can't we organize a group of people to teach these young people, to help these young people to have another way of living? Some you can help, some you can't help. My point to you is this: because parental leadership at home is failing in our community. Let's be honest. My child would not, if I had children, would not be on a BART train robbing anybody. One thing's for sure, these children coming up in our society now are going to be our issue. Or they're going to go to the prison, or they're going to go to the grave with the police force. What do we want to do about it? My point is this: do you ever think about your life, family? Because I'm going to tell you something. Just because I said the next 20, 30 years, just because I said that, that don't mean you're going to be here another 20, 30 years. Current company included. I'm not promised another 20 years on this earth, in this country. I'm not promised that. I could drop dead in 19 years. Killed, murdered, sickness. But I'm going to tell you something. Some people on this call may not be here in 20 years from now. Have you investigated that? Thought about that? What if I lost my brother CJ? CJ about 53, 54. What if something happened to him in 5 years, 10 years, 3 years? That would be a major blow to my circle, to my heart, because me and CJ is very close. What if I lost Edwin in 5 years, 6 years, 10 years? That'd be a very intensive blow to my heart. What if I lost Marshall in 5 years, 10 years? That'd be a ridiculous, terrific, terrible blow to my heart. What if I lost Queen in 5 years, 10 years? Natasha, Sienna, Teak, MC Unity, Naomi. I can name some names, family. What I'm telling you is, the only way we're going to get beat in America is if we lay down. And I'm telling you something, family. Some of you ain't going to get it. You might be double doing things while I'm talking to you right now. You might be texting your friends. But I'm going to tell you something. I'm watching the system change overnight. I drive all over the Bay Area, family. And I'm going to tell you something. In the Bay Area, the real Bay Area, not out there, Antioch, Pittsburgh, whatever, the Bay Area, Berkeley, Oakland, SF, Fremont, San Jose, Santa Clara. I'm hard-pressed, family, to find intelligent black people. Hard-pressed to find them. What I see mostly is Asian, Indian, and white folks. And I'm going to tell you something. Those people are doing what they're going to do because they got the government behind them, backing them with these certain programs to come over here and fund themselves. Some people might say, oh, black folks can do the same thing. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. Ain't never been easy for us. Nobody giving us no handouts. What I'm telling you is that's not going to be enough, family, to stop us. We need to be resolved to build and buy our own stuff. We need to be resolved to protect our own communities. They're not going to give you the green light. They're not going to give you the green light, family. And if you think you're going to be in this country in good health, good spirits, not locked up, and not mortally or handicapped, going into your golden years, if you think you're going to have a fresh, smooth ride the next 20, 30 years, you are fooling yourself. And you fool anybody listening to you. I'm not here to pump no fear. I'm not here to pump nobody's fantasy world. I'm here to give you the raw, the 100% uncut. And what I'm telling you tonight, family, the future of sound-minded black America is on the table. And if you don't take the bull by the horns, looking for somebody next to you, looking for your neighbor to do it, looking for your brother to do it, looking for your cousin to do it, looking for somebody else on TV, internet to do it, if you're going to sit there and be a social media leader, then you're going to be part of your own failure. Because if somebody listening to you, somebody's watching you, somebody's looking up to you, could be your children. What are you going to leave your children, family, if you decide to lay down? I want you to really think about this. Because people calling in, they're real confused about what to do. I'm going to tell you what we need to do. We need to first take back. We gather strength piece by piece. We gather people, intelligent people, piece by piece. And once we have the numbers, we will be a force to be reckoned with. We will buy our politicians. We will control the intellectual property, and we'll control the knowledge of what's going to our kids' heads. We will control the leadership that they're following. We would control the schooling and education that they're getting. They may have to get the formal education, but they come home and they got to get another education to be debriefed on all that bullshit, to be taught their real history. But right now, I got friends in the professional services, child protective services, and the things they're telling me right now is just, you got to hear her say it about what's going on out there. I got people working at Job Corps, people working in the system. All they're doing with this nonprofit money, family, all they're doing is holding these people, these young people, until they can put them somewhere. Prison. There's not a lot of programs, family. Just people push the nonprofit thing. Let me just tell you something. When you are profitable to really help and make a difference for black youth, you will notice your funding will get cut short. You will notice you will have obstacles, that unsurmountable obstacles, to get the money you need. I'm not saying they won't give you some leeway to do something for black people. What I'm saying is, when you can raise up a nation within an inner city of people focused and making a difference on a huge level, economically for their people, buying real estate for their people, you will find out how white supremacy really works. What I'm telling you tonight is this, family. You don't have 20 years. You could be 35 right now. Think you got 30 years later to be senior citizen, and can drop dead at 45. Heart attack, cancer, stroke, car accident, gunshot wound, wasn't meant for you, police brutality, race soldiers. You ain't promised none of this. If you have the opportunity to look at your life today and fast forward to your deathbed and realize you wasted the next 20 years on your deathbed, when you have children, fresh starting out, 20-some years old at that point, for a lot of people, got little kids now. What will you look in their eyes and tell them? How will you tell them to go on with their life when you ain't going to be in it? What will be your guidance, family? What will be your words of wisdom? This is what I'm telling you to get you to think about tonight. What will be your words of wisdom? Because you know what? This is what the wolf think about every freaking day. And I ain't got no kids. And I know when I started having children, family, I know. I probably ain't going to be here when they get to be my age that I'm today. I understand that. But what I'm willing to do is leave them a legacy, information, leadership ability to go forward and make the best of their life. Give them what my parents never gave me, family. A future. Guidance to handle my money, my relationship, and be a leader in the community and be the change you want to see. Not just posting something nice and nifty online. Really doing something, meeting one-on-one, group meetings with people who have changed. Change agents, family. That's what we're talking about tonight. Change agents. Not posers. Because somebody had a courage in this deal. A lot of people afraid to talk about white supremacy. I know, I get it. You worry about your job. I get it. But let me tell you something. You tell me, when did a bully ever stop beating up the little kid, the poor kid, the defenseless kid? When did they ever stop beating up on him? If he's afraid to fight back, did that bully ever stop? No, never did. in the black community, there's a lot of courage lacking with the older people. A lot of courage lacking. I'm sorry. People then got soft. And the thing is, if they don't have the courage, young people have the courage, but not the understanding. They both have something the other one needs. We have to bond together as a group and a family to make a move as a unit. You got to be willing to do that, family. You have to be willing to do that. So I'm going to open the lines up, family. I want to hear somebody's thoughts about this. I'm going to do something different tonight. I'm no longer going to wait for somebody to come up with it, to get the courage to speak. I'm not going to wait no more. What I'm going to do is this. You press 1 on your phone to raise your hand, speak your mind. You have your say. Okay? But if in the end result, we have no questions, I'm going to play the music for a couple of minutes. I'm going to come back. I'm going to end the show. Because if you ain't got the courage, we just got to keep banging to fight people who do have courage. Because one thing's for sure, family, you cannot be lost with white supremacy. You cannot act lost. Every job I ever had, I was always ready to go, family. Always. Layoffs happen, I'm in line, waiting. Whatever. I lived and died by my merit. Even today. I don't kiss no ass. I don't smooze. I don't brown nose. I live and die by my performance and my merit, about who I am. And I'm going to die that way. Because there's too many suckers at the top with all the money, cowards. And I don't like to use the word coward too much. Because a coward to me, you know, nobody in my group is considered cowards. Nobody. Because the leader ain't no coward. And what I'm telling you is about this. Bullies never stop. When you're a coward, when you're afraid, consider ass whooping pending every day. That ass whooping will be pending for you every day of your life. And your kids watch you be a coward. Your kids watch you lay down. They will lay down. Or if they decide to stand up, they will not be affiliated with you anymore. And that's the first day you want to see when your kids grew up and got bigger balls than you got as the leader of the family. So I'm going to tell you something. I see some hands up. That's great. So I'm gonna listen. We're gonna have some dialogue with these hands up. But when the hands stop ceasing up, I'm gonna end the show, and we'll just do this on the 3rd, and we'll keep doing the way I'm doing this because right now ain't no time, no energy. People's got health issues. People got money issues. People got job issues, family issues, work issues, whatever. In the end of that day, to have something left in the tank to combat and protect the BABC, intelligent black thought in America. So ain't nobody gonna be on the sideline on this one, family. When they come for us, because they are coming for us sooner or later. When they come for us, cowards going first. All right, first caller, 2513. I'm opening your mic up. Welcome to the show, 2513. Hello? Turn your radio down. Hello? Okay, he ain't ready. He's sleeping over there, whatever. All right, I got another 8730. 8730. Welcome to the call.
What's happening?
Hey, how you doing, bro? Brother Sidney.
Yeah, good. Well, could you bend the rules just a little bit? Like if people stop talking, I'd like to get back on and keep talking, because
okay.
I think
right.
this is a very hold on a second. This is a very dear topic to me.
Okay.
And I think you and I have had conversation about the future of our people and if we don't start to react. So, having said that, you've taken a position, and it's a very good position. And I say this, that you are the future leader, Sean, or I'll say your generation, because you're in the middle of the baby boomers, which is only 20-something years ahead of you. I fall under that category. And one of the things you stated, yes, we do have more years behind us than we do ahead of us. But what I would like to encourage us to start doing, if we go back to our roots in Africa, one of the things that when we got ready to go to war, we would have all the tribes come together. And that's the status and the state that Black America is in. So what I would encourage us to do. Who is that?
I'm listening.
Okay.
See,
okay.
see the other person, they still speak.
Oh, okay. I would encourage us to go to as many meetings that are like-minded people like ourselves, even if we each have to go to different events to come back and see it as something that we may want to be a part of. Because no matter, even if you have 1,000 people, we need millions. This needs to be a movement. Because even if we're successful in the Bay Area, the rest of the country is not. So if the rest of the country is not successful, we're not successful. So, yes, you are right. We just need to really talk about the future more than the present. And I know you know that my position is we're going to be in economic slavery, which I've already kind of did a timeline. Okay, and you're touching on that, and that speaks volumes. But I think everybody on the group should, that's on this call, should actually say what they think is going to look like. Just as I think I was on a call with you before, where I hosted and I asked that question. Well, let's really look at it, because the thing that woke me up and is already, because we always get warnings, and one of the warnings is those 30 kids that got on the train,
right,
to do that.
That's our future.
They're already telling you how crime is going to be committed now. Okay, so they're doing it now. So this is not going to be the last time. See, we didn't remember when the drive-bys. First, people started carjacking. There was no such thing as carjacking. Then it became a thing. Then it became a thing waiting for you to go to the ATM and then jacking you at the ATM. So now they're getting on transit and robbing people and terrorizing people. That's telling you where we're headed. So in 20 years, there's no telling what they're going to do. So having said that, I would like us to have some strong dialogue of what it's going to look like in year 2040 to 2065. Many of us, yes, you're right, we won't be here. But the millennials of today, what is it going to look like 50 years from now? And I'm talking about how we live, and employment rate. Do we have businesses to employ our kids? We need to look at this whole thing on a larger scale. But I would encourage everybody that's on this call to actually give their opinion on what it's going to look like in 2040 to 2060. And then I'll yield.
All right. Well, I would say I dropped that caller with the. He'll have to come back on, whoever it is. I don't know what it is. Your phone just, you don't answer. Raise your hand and just be sitting there. The TV's going. But anyway, my point to you is this, my brother. I need people to understand something. Even if you're not going to be here, most people have children. Most people have grandchildren. If you won't do something for yourself, look who you're leaving behind. I'm a strong supporter of, if I have children in this world, my goal is not only to have my children get through puberty and get through school to being a functional adult. My goal is also, and my job also, is to make sure they know what to do with their life. They give them options to do what's in their heart to do, but at the same time, give them the tools they need that I did not have myself at an earlier age. That's my life. That's my job. The thing is, if me and you ain't going to be here in 20 years, we leave behind people who have to fight and possibly be enslaved all over again. Because I'm telling you, when I see it around the Bay Area, it's not good. I don't see, it's hard to find. And some people are living in the city, and my brother Leon, I don't know if he's on the call or not, but he talks about how I'm going to keep these cards we passed the flyers out, right? He said, I'm going to have these cards for about a year or two, because there ain't many black folk around us on their level. And he's right. And I respect that because what you're seeing over there is a complete whitewash of society. And they're taking back all the inner city places, all the best places to live, by the fresh water, by the lakes, by jobs in corporate America. Black folks going back to the suburbs. Now, if you're retired, that's fine. But if you got to go back to work, you don't want to be so far. You got to commute every day 2-3 hours to go to work, you see. So my point is that black folks on this call need to really think about if you fall out here and passed away in 5 years or less, could you really lay down your life at this point in time and feel confident that you did a great job for your children and your grandchildren? You left them a legacy that they will not have to do the same things you had to go through as your time here on earth is over. I need folks to really think about that, Sydney, because people live like they're going to live forever. They live like they're going to be healthy forever. Them bones ain't going to be hurting one day. Some people know I'm talking about on this call. But what I'm saying to people is that what I'm seeing is just the dumb down the black youth, the debauchery that they influence themselves with, the drama that they putting together, because they are being rewarded in the entertainment industry to be ridiculous. And what they're doing is these people are still breeding, having children. So I will be a senior in 20 years, okay? Maybe my health ain't that great. Maybe I got a cane now. Maybe my foot swells up. Whatever it might be. Do I got to go to society where I'm going to be getting bullied by young black and brown kids who didn't have any home training, no fathers to lead them, to show them how to respect the elders like the generations I grew up with? Just want people to understand. You can lay down and do whatever you want, but you just going to deal with you. There was a famous line in the movie called Get Carter with Sylvester Stallone. He was a retired hitman, went back to take care of some business. It said, handle the business or the business will handle you. And that's what I'm saying to my people tonight. You better handle the business or the business will handle you later. And my goal is to make sure we have some intelligent black young leaders coming up through the ranks that's going to be looking out for the elders, which will be me at the time, and the young ones coming up. We have to have things in place. And like you said, that's great. We need to meet with other people on the level. I'm just not big for fanfare. People saying, making themselves look smart and not really smart. I have to find, you have to help me find people who on that level, because what we need right now is action. We need movement. We need action. And we need to put organizing things with the young people involved too, because they have more influence on the street than we do at this point. I ain't been in the street in 20 years, okay? So I don't know how they're getting down like that, but I know what I see, and it's not good. It's not good. So if anybody wants to speak on this, press 1 on your phone. We're live. Go, my brother. You want to say something? Because you know me, I'll put the music on. Oh, I see somebody come back. Let me see. Oh, here we got somebody. Hold on 1 second. 1 second. I got 2008. Welcome to the call. 2008.
This is Keisha.
Keisha.
Can you
Talk to me, Keisha. How you doing? Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm 43. I don't have any children, but I do, what am I trying to say? I really think that if nothing is done and about the situation with the young kids, like, I really don't think we're going to survive, because right now, just in general, not just black kids, but just kids in general, these millennials and the teenagers, they have no respect.
Right.
It's like it crosses racial borders. I don't know what it is, but they just don't respect anybody or hurt anybody. They don't care about anybody. They damn sure don't care about themselves. So it's going to be scary. It's crazy. Like, it gets to the point, like I said this before, like, just a lot of my friends have kids and stuff. I said, I'm actually afraid to have kids. And I'm not afraid as far as what I'm going to do, but I don't know what they're going to do, my children, out there. Because there's only, what I'm saying? There's almost so much that you can't protect your kids whenever, wherever they're out of your sight. So it's scary.
And you should be scared, because that's, Keisha, you make a good point, because that's part of my fear too, because I feel like, okay, I was talking to Sienna about this too. I said, Sienna, you're a mom, you got beautiful kids, intelligent, but what happens if we don't have community set up to where your children will be able to mix with other young, intelligent black children? We'll be too old later on to be running behind our children. And if they're in the street with the kids coming up now who didn't grow up with a stable home, dysfunctional to the core, fatherless children with no guidance, they will destroy our children, maybe even destroy us. And I tell them all the time, I'm not going to lay down for no young buck trying to run me over. Somebody going to catch some hot lead possibly. But what I'm saying is, this is something we got to handle right now. We got to nip this in the bud. We have to save some. And that's why it's so important what you're saying about, you're right, a lot of it crosses racial lines because entertainment is so dumbed down right now, Keisha. The entertainment they have now is so dumbed down. Ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. It's so sad. Like, I had to even, like, catch myself, and I had to stop watching different, like, certain shows because I'm, wait a minute, this is not good. I'm not, like, even my guilty pleasures, like, I had to stop watching, like, reality TV and just, like, I'm like, I can't do it anymore. It just rots your brain.
You're right. I'm glad you was able to admit that. That's true. Scandal. People love Scandal. But that woman is only cool. She's only cool when she's sticking with the white man and got a good husband at home. But that's a cool thing. She got power and all that stuff. But what is it? What's the message it's sending to our kids?
So yeah, so I used to
now.
So I used to watch Scandal, but now I don't. I don't watch it.
Right.
And I just have to be careful what I watch. So actually, I do watch home and garden TV. So I don't watch with actual people. I watch with building things and fixing stuff and all that kind of stuff. But when it comes to like people, I'm like, I'm enough of that. Miss me.
But isn't that sad though? But listen, isn't that sad because they want us to adopt this for our children. See, I told Sienna this also, talked to Sienna about this. We talked for about 2 hours on this subject. And the truth is this. If you want to change the minds and thoughts of the young people, the fastest way we can get them adaptable to change is change the entertainment. We got to make it cool again to have good entertainment. We have to make it cool. Because if we don't make it cool, the white supremacists, the Jews who run the Hollywood, they only promoting the albums that sell the best with the most debauchery, disrespectful stuff to our people. They promoting all the negativity because that right there sells right now. But, it also sends a message to people, this is what you should be. That's why I cross racial lines, because when the little black kids do it, the little white kids want to follow. They want Latinos want to follow. Right. They want to follow them too. Everybody want to be black folks, but they don't want to be black folks.
Exactly.
So we got to change the entertainment. We need mentors in the community to help the young kids who want their help, because when you get to be a 17, 18-year-old and you ain't had no father half your whole life, another man telling you what to do, some respect and some don't. Right.
That's true.
So my goal is we need to help the young ones who are still impressionable and will follow leadership.
Well, actually, too, I just had a conversation with one of the maintenance guys, my maintenance guy, and he's having issues with his son. And I was like, he was like acting up in school and stuff like that. And so what I had to tell him, I was like, okay, I said, I don't have kids, so I could be like, you can tell me to go jump in the lake. But what I said, I'm like, dude, there is no way that I have a kid in my house eating my food, acting a fool. I said, they wouldn't want me to come to school. That is no way. And I said, you can't be their friends. I'm so sorry. You can't. You can be friendly, but you are the father. And I said, like, no video games, no TV. Tell him to read a book.
Oh, my God. That could be a whole other show right there. These parents trying to be friends to their children. Boy, I tell you, that's the mistake you want to make.
And I was like,
you are a parent first.
Yeah, so I was like, no. And so he was like, really? I'm like, well, he didn't say really, because I guess because I'm kind of soft-spoken at sometimes. But I'm like, no. And I said, and we had another conversation about these kids jumping on the bus, like robbing people. He said, what would you do?
Right.
I said, I wouldn't give my stuff. I said, unless they had a gun, it will be a fight. And I'm crippled and damn near dead, but you're not taking my purse. So sorry.
Hey, Hey, I told my friends that Edwin them, my cousin is, which is a retired sheriff or whatever. He said, "They robbed you too." I said, "No, they wouldn't. No, they wouldn't rob me." I tell them straight up, "Listen, I ain't got much money. Okay, you ain't got a gun, you ain't got a knife. Rob somebody else, bro.
Exactly. It's gonna be a fight.
This ain't gonna be the.
This ain't gonna be
the look for you.
You're gonna work for it.
It's gonna be like Sydney always said. Gonna be some furniture moving on, Bart. You try to rob Wolf. Gonna be some furniture moving on this goddamn train. I promise you that. And when I get done, somebody gonna be left to pick up to identify the rest of them, because I'm gonna leave somebody sleeping, straight up. So that's
I know I do get up like I'm very like soft spoken and that word, but I'm like, no, but you just can't. I'm not gonna just let you do whatever you want. I'm so sorry.
Right.
Not
But
gonna happen.
look, but I tell people something. How do you organize 30? It was 30, not 46. They just blow it up in the news. But the train operator said 30 young people. How do you organize 30 people to rob a train and then get away unnoticed? It's just, I tell myself, how the hell we got to be so bad? You got people online, and you can't get people to come to an event. 30 folks come to one event.
Right.
You got 30 folks come rob somebody on a train and get away. What are we going wrong here, family? This is a big problem. Okay? Oh my God. All right, thanks, Keith, for that. I see another hand here, girl. I see another hand here. Thanks a lot. I appreciate you. All right,
no problem.
Let's see. All right. Now we have 9339. Welcome to the call, Miss Unity.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening.
Great subject as usual. I wanted to just add, especially after Keith's comment about having your kids read a book. One of the things that I think is our problem in the Black community is that we don't like to read. We don't like to be educated. We just want to be entertained. And unfortunately, we seem to make learning, rather than fun, we make it like it's a punishment. When our kids get in trouble, we tell them to go, if they're in punishment, no, go read a book. Go sit down and read a book. You can't go play outside. You can't play your game because you're in punishment. Go read. So what's going to make reading attractive? When that's what you have to do when you can't play, when you can't do anything else. I think, like you said, we need to change, the mindset of the young kids and get back to things, that where respect, obviously, change the game back to where we are the parents, not their friends, and put the fear of God in the belt, in them. Forget the corporal punishment or whatever that law is that says you can't, beat your own kids, as long as they don't want you to, so they can do it. It's okay for them. If your kid is unruly and you can't discipline them at home, they can't wait to discipline them in the street. So, I think we just need to start over and stop being afraid of our kids. I mean, we had them. I don't care if they have a gun or anything else. Are they going to kill you? It's like, let it get to that. Them testing us and us being afraid of them, I think it's absolutely ridiculous. I have no problem, spanking my child from the time she was, a baby to now she's 19 years old, and it's a different type of spanking, but I still have no problem doing it if she gets out of line. You know what I mean? The appropriate means for appropriate times, appropriate measures, whatever. My cousin actually went to jail because her daughter pulled a knife on her. And, she's had a hard time coming out from under that. But she said, I'm going to be the last person you pull a knife on. And she beat that child like there was no tomorrow. And she was 16 years old. And, but I feel that. And that's just, maybe that's, my family's been telling me. I don't know. But, that's how I came up. And I respected my parents. I would have never pulled a knife on my mom. Yeah, I would never even call my mom out of her name to her face.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean?
That's crazy.
Right? And so these kids having this lack of discipline and being allowed to watch TV all the time and listen to whatever they want to listen to and do whatever they want to do and have the kind of friends that you don't even have access to is just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, I think that's how we got here, and I think that needs to change. I don't think I have another friend who had and I used to think it was me because I was younger and didn't really understand, and she only let her kids watch TV one night a week, and that was only Thursdays, and it was because shows like Bill Cosby and Living Color and the one that came on with the kids were in college. I can't think of the name of it. That came on after the Cosby Show. Different World. You know, those type of positive black shows were the only things basically that her kids could watch. And the other day you were outside playing.
I so missed them. I just went back with you. I missed those. I miss Good Times. Even though they was poor, John Amos put it down. He was the law. He put it down in the house. He protected them. It's just, even the Jeffersons. It's just we lost so much family. That's a damn good point. Look at the shows we have for our kids to watch now. I wish I could get all I'm serious. If I could just gather all the DVDs or Netflix or whatever it is, and just my kids can only watch the Jeffersons, Good Times, Sanford and Son, all the greats, even Bill Cosby Show. I don't care. They don't know what happened later on. It's all part of his line anyway. But it's just that. Look at what we trade. Man, y'all, this is a great point. Look at what we traded in for. We traded all that in for Scandal.
Exactly.
How to Get Away with Murder.
Love and
reality
hip-hop
TV shows. The Kardashians.
Right.
Oh my God.
Right.
We're doing so bad, family. Oh my God.
It's horrible. And all of her kids graduated from college. The ones that I thought she was being mean to. All of them are college graduates. They're all doing well. Have their families established, and one of them is deaf, and she graduated from college too, and is an actress. I mean, they're really successful Black powerful kids, and I'm going to end with this back to the point about making reading a punishment. I think is a huge mistake. You know how they say if you want to hide something from a Black person, put it in a book. And I shared this with CJ last night. Actually, we have an African American children's event every February, right, for Black History Month at my sister's house, and we have all the kids, not perform, but they have to learn a speech and not a speech, but they have to give a speech about some African American contributor to America, right? And it can't be like the most popular over and over used ones that you learn about in school. So they have to find ones that we don't know about, and we give incentives and prizes for kids who remember the most, and yada, yada, right? Well, and there's always displays. There's African food, and there's displays of different books out on the table. And, it's a really nice little thing she does at her house, right? So her niece, which is one of the ones my niece, her daughter, which is one of the ones who grew up only watching TV on Thursdays, is now an adult, and like I said, has her own family, and she's a part of this event every year too, and she put some books up this past February on the table that were all, as usual, really interesting, colorful, whatever. And some of the kids went by and they just kind of looked at the cover, put them down. They were looking more for like prizes or games, weren't really interested in the books. And these are mostly teenagers, right? So it's not like they can't read. But at the end of the night, she gave that quote, if you want to hide something from a Black person, put it in a book. And she said, and to prove this to you guys, she opened up every single book. She flipped through the pages, and she had put a $5 bill in every single book. And not one person found one of them. Not one person picked up a book and flipped the pages enough. Flipped them at all to see that there was money in there. It was over $100 that they could have had.
Oh, my goodness.
And so, anyway, and with that, I just think that reading is very, very, very important, and it's something that we need. And learning in general. We need to really, and like you said, teaching our, having school after school, debriefing and debunking the myths that they teach them, and teach them yourselves, good history and facts. But we need to make that fun, and we need to make it a priority that we are educating our kids, because when we, make it sound like it's a punishment for them to go read, then why would they like it? Why would that be attractive?
Absolutely
anyway.
Right.
Thanks for taking the call.
Thank you, my sister. Appreciate you. All right. We got a couple more hands here. Those who want to speak on this, we got about 30 minutes left on the show, about 30 minutes left. Press 1 on your phone. I got one more. I got 8035.
Good evening, my brother.
Awesome. How you doing, my brother?
I'm good this evening. You know, listening to what everybody has said, I have somewhere in the neighborhood about 45 nieces and nephews, ranging from 3 to a couple of months old, actually. And all of those, as they coming up, 2, 3, and 4, and if they got a fire truck or if they got one of them little ambulance truck, one of the toys that they have that relates to a profession, I always asked all of them, what are you going to be? What are you going to be? What do you want to do with your life? What you want to be? How you going to make your money? What do you want to be? What you going to do? And I always tell them that you can do it anything if you put your mind to it. Anything. I got half of them just about that have gone to college, some of them and have graduated college. I got one that got her master's degree, and I have 2 that are working on their master's degrees. We were always asked by my dad, what are you going to be? I don't care what you're going to be, but be something, and whatever it is that you be the best. Just be the best. Nobody can ask you for anything else. And where was your homework? Where your homework? What you got? Let me see it. My grandson, who's he's 9 years old now, but when I had him, and he would come in here after school and want to go to the park and play, then where your homework? Come on, man, where your homework? What you got? Oh, I did my homework already. Let me see what you did. And we would sit down, and most of the time he had some of the stuff right, but a lot of it wasn't right, especially his math problems, because math takes you through everything. You deal with it every day, period. You just do, whether it's the speed limit or buying a box of candy at the store or soda or whatever. You got to deal with that. And I would sit down with that kid every single day, and we would go over whatever his homework was. And I'd give him books, comic books sometimes, and then that's where I started. And as you talk to him, you talk about fishing. Oh, yeah, well, look at these fish. And we start talking about the different kinds of fish, because they got the little charts with all the fish that swim at the top and the bottom and all of, through the waters and the oceans and so forth. To the point that they had a reading contest at the elementary school over there, and I told him, Dakari, I want you to go over there and do your best, man. Just do your best and see how many books you can read for whatever they got for you. Can you do that? I think so. I said, no, can you do it? He said, yeah, I could do it. I said, good. Here's a kid that was, I guess that's the 2nd grade, so I don't know what their little books was, because the teachers was taking care of them, right? But this boy ended up throughout that particular semester, or whatever you want to call it, the time that they had, he read 32 books.
Wow.
Okay, what they were, 32 books brought about questions back to Pawpaw.
Wow.
Okay? That's what you do. That's what I do with mine, and I have done with them all. What are you going to be? You going to be the best one? You can be the best one. Ain't nobody can better than you. You're the best thing you're going. I know you can do it. And that's encouragement. If you don't start that encouragement young, I mean 2, 3, 4, 5, because it's a bunch of them little 2-year-old guys going around that can do a whole bunch of stuff. As more especially now, I got one, Jason, that boy is what? I guess he's about 11 now. But when I first got my phone, I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I couldn't get to something. And he was looking at me. He said, Uncle Marshall, I can do it. And I looked down at this little joker. He around by my knee somewhere. I said, you can do it? He said, yeah. I said, well, here, take the phone. Do it. And he looked at it, and he got to messing with stuff. Doggone if he didn't do it.
Wow.
Uh-huh. So I found this class here in Richmond over at the library where they were saying we're going to show them how to program be programmers and stuff like that. Well, what the heck? He doing this, may as well go. And we sent him there to help him out. There's certain things that they do. Taylor, for instance, when he was little, that boy hollered so loud. One day I couldn't believe it. Then he started listening to music because I generally always keep music going. And Luther Vandross, he can sing everything and make you jump and shout behind Luther and Michael and stuff like that. What did he end up doing? Went to college, went to Overton, graduated, and they found out he was some kind of weird double tenor, and he sings opera, but he can sing all the rest of it. And he's driven to be the best that he could be. That's what it is.
I think he got full scholarship. Didn't he get full scholarship for that too? Didn't it pay no college fee?
Victoria, I kind of did Victoria like my dad did me about math, where I'll share this with the group. I came home.
We got two more callers, Martin.
Oh, okay. Well,
we got two more callers.
Anyway,
go ahead and share that real quick.
I'll just say this. She got her scholarship for mathematics down at Irvine. Reminds me of Hidden Figures, because that girl is good. I'll just leave it like that. Talk to them, work with them, ask them what they want to be, what you going to do. And ask them every day. They change their mind every day, but that's all right. Just tell them they be the best one. Thank you, bro. I'm out.
Okay. All right. I got 9113. You're live. 9113. Welcome to the call.
Yeah, what's going on? I'm in the car. How y'all doing?
We're doing great.
All right, so I'm doing all right, cool. I'm going to give you some pushback on some of the things that I'm hearing. It's a little bit different. Is that all right?
Who is it? What's your name?
My name is Denmark.
Okay. Go ahead, give your pushback. Go ahead.
Yeah, so as far as, we'll start with the things that happened with the kids that robbed the train on the BART. That was very unfortunate, and it was uncalled for. But how I look at things, not no but. And they should definitely, the community should figure out a way to handle that. But if we're looking at it materially and looking at what's been going on in America since forever, we should expect this from these kids nowadays. They are pretty much knockoffs of the oppressors. You know what I'm saying? They're just bad imitations of what happens to them in their communities every day. They militarized, right, by these, you know what I'm saying, race soldiers who come in with their arms and pushing them around and telling them they can't go here, you can't do this. And then you have gentrification, where these people from outside come in and take over where they live at, or now they take over the park. That thing that happened in San Francisco, where now they saying you can't, you got to rent the park in order to play soccer. So that happens. So it's pretty much them imitating the what the system does to them. So now, let's be clear though.
So you think it's a form of retaliation? Is what you're saying?
I think it's a form of survival, right? Now, also we have to think about what's going on with these children. They are living in an age where information is pumped at them all the time. They constantly stimulated everything. Buy this, do this, dress this, all around them on the social media. It's coming through their phones right now. It's in the radio, everything. We didn't have this much information, this much stimulation when we was coming up, right? And then to think about how all the negative information and stimulation that they get, and then if you top on that the food they eat ain't good, and then you top on that they being pumped with drugs because they saying you too hyper, too over, you got ADD, which ain't nothing but kids having some, you know what I'm saying, being hyper, you know what I'm saying, got some energy. You put all that on them, and then on top of that, you got the school to prison pipeline. You got all these different things.
So what's the solution, my brother? What's the solution? I got one more caller. What's the solution?
Okay.
In your mind.
Well, no problem. Well, we got to make sure that we keep everything in context, right? When we're dealing with these kids before we start bashing them out, we got to make sure how we look at this is two predators. It's a primary predator and it's a secondary predator. The primary predator is white supremacy, right? These are the people that run the institutions. Secondary predators are kids like this, people in our community that are victims of white supremacy, and then they go out and victimize other people in the community. So the solution to that is get out there in the community. I heard you said, brother, you ain't been out there in the community for a while. You got to test down with them. They got to see your face. We have to be in those areas. We got to figure it out. If they're not getting this education, it's our fault because we're the one that know better. So we got to figure out how we can get out there physically. Like you were saying, what's it going to do? What's going to be your legacy, right? Part of that is putting the footwork in, right? And you're doing that with this show. Part of that is actually getting out in the community, such as being in those unsafe places, right? So they can see you real and they'll listen to you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's one of the solutions. Be out there with the people. We only going to go as fast as the people go. Right? You were saying there was a brain drain. Right? We only going to go as fast as the people go.
Let me ask you a question, but how old are you right now? How old are you?
35.
You got any children?
Yeah, I do. I have a daughter.
Okay, how old is she?
She just graduated yesterday from Ohio University.
Oh, she's grown.
21. Yes, she's grown. Okay. 21. Yes, sir. But I do have a godchild whose life I'm in, and he's 5 years old. He's a little boy. And and real quick, because of him and because of what's happening to these children, I created a nonprofit called Barbers Books and Bridges, where we take children's books to barbershops throughout Oakland, culturally relevant children's books. The sister talked about entertainment and how reading is a punishment. It feels like a punishment to a lot of these kids because the stories that they read ain't got nothing to do with them. So they like, no, I don't see that. And one of the problems is because we don't take the time to be intentional and find these black stories from these black authors that live in our community. So we have to be intentional about finding these stories, these children's books, finding these books that our children can relate to, or finding these teachers that teach in a different style, right? I know for my godson, he can't just be sitting down. So, and I'm sure people saw online, there's some teachers, they put in dance and rap music in they lessons, and the kids are going wild with it. Well, then we need to, as a community, go to the schools, OUSD or wherever it is, and talk to them and say, hey, our students ain't learning this. Our students are not learning. Right now, we just had another group that I'm a part of. It's called State of Black Oakland. And what we had a community meeting where we invited the candidates for OUSD. That they were going to be the superintendent. We invited them out. We said, if you want to be superintendent of these OUSD, you need to come meet with the community first. And we need to interview you first before you, so we can go back to OUSD and say, we approve of this one and we approve of that one. But it's going to take us getting out from under our comfort zones and meeting new people and getting out in those areas and finding. Personally, I know a lot of people ain't as feeling positive about the future 20 to 40 years. Me personally, I feel like the future's going to be great because I can see that the consciousness is being raised. And you can see that materially by all these marches, by all these people. Okay. All they need is all these people need is to be organized and in a focused manner, right? They out there. They saying we out there. You know what I'm saying? But that's my
okay. I got you, my brother. I see some good points on that. I got a couple more callers though.
Oh, good. Yes, sir.
I appreciate you. All right, I got two more callers here. 2697. Welcome to the call. 2697. See.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. We got about 15 minutes. I got one more call to get through after you. So, go ahead, my brother.
Yes, I'm pretty brief. You know me. So I had to come in and say a couple things. First thing I want to comment on is this show, right? Because I have telling a couple of people about the show, right? The people listening in, right? And I've gotten some comments, right? Some borderline negative comments, right? There are some people who seem to think that this show is all about griping and complaining, and it's not, because basically anybody who makes a call in here, whatever it is that you're talking about, I appreciate MC Unity and what she said, Marshall, and also in Denmark, right? Because the thing is, ideas and information are being transferred here, right? And somebody's going to say something that's going to spark somebody else, and it's going to end up with a solution, right? So here's my, like what you were saying, you were asking in the end, you were saying, what's the solution, right? And
no,
so
I said, what's your? I asked Denmark, what's his solution? What do you think is going to be the solution?
Exactly. And so before I present any solutions, I just want to make a couple comments about some things that were said. You know, this thing is big, this BART robbery, and I just, without really talking about it too much, I just want to say, I don't know if anybody's really thought about it. How many fathers of those kids? How many fathers do you think are in their homes, are in the home?
None.
You know, I just want to put that out there. Probably slim to none.
Right.
You know, and also I want to say something about the what you were saying about 20 years from now. You know, and just think about it. You know, we talked about it before. I'm not going to get on it, but about homelessness, right? And they got they got all these white people out there who are homeless. Where do you think that's going to leave us? I mean, they got all these extremely large amount of white people. I mean, I went down there under the over there in West Oakland under 7th Street. There's a whole slew of white people. There's some black people homeless too, but down there in that area, there's a whole slew of white people down there. It's just scary, you know. So, what does that look like for us? If it's looking like that for them, what's that going to look like for us in 20 years from now? You know, what's it going to look like for my granddaughter? So, anyway, I know you got another caller, so let me say something about small steps. So, my small steps are, for one, my granddaughter. No, not my granddaughter, my daughter. I had been praying and talking to her, you know, trying to get her to come to church, right? And then there are people who are, you know, I don't know where they are at spiritually, right? But, you know, there's some people who are not as spiritual. But going to church versus not going to church, it's definitely better for her to come to church, right? And I didn't think I was going to ever get her to come back to church. She came back to church yesterday. So that's a step in the right direction. So I'm just working on her. After we went to church, we went bowling, you know, spending time with her and just trying to work on her, you know. And so the last caller, my new friend Denmark, we made some bookshelves, right? So we can put these books out in the barbershops, you know. So these kids, they come in with their dad, and the dad, he gets his hair cut, and they can sit there and they can get some education. You know, these are small steps, you know, and people, you need to think about things. Just sit and spend some time thinking about what you can do to help your community. You know, like, or for instance, posting the one item. I just had to pull over. I seen those girls out there. I guess somebody dropped some books off in West Oakland, and the other day, and I seen these two little young girls, and they were just going through these books, and they were just seemed like they were so excited. So I had to take a couple of pictures of them. I mean, it was just a beautiful thing. And then to see them walking away with these books, you know, see them walking away with some information, you know. So I mean, there are, you know, this world, it's a bad world, but there are things you can do. There are small steps that you can take, and you just got to keep it moving. You got to keep pushing forward. That's it.
All right, my brother. Thank you very much for that. All right, I got one more, 1904. Welcome to the call, 1904.
Well, thank you. And I'm a first-time call on Miss T, and it's a great conversation. I'm doing great. I have a granddaughter. A granddaughter who, in 2040, she would be, since it's 2017 now, she would probably be about 23, 24. So I'm looking at someone, where is college for her in that area? Then my children, where would they be at you know, at that age, you know, middle age, not yet retiring. So when you're saying, you know, where would we be in 2040? But I'm looking at they're African American. And considering how all the policies and the system that's set up in place now strategically, and I'm talking about the judicial, economic, and educational system, and the shifting that's put in place now will have profound impact in the next decade, doesn't go unchecked, and it will affect my children, which I won't be here, but it'll affect my children and my grandchildren.
Right.
So what can I do? Because most of the jobs will be done by robots, and there are very few that will be done by with the physical. So that means their intellect and intelligence is very pivotal. So given that you're talking about society and the system that's set up is to deprogram and totally unprogram the identity of the African American family, where it's a constant cycle, and I don't think you could, disagree with me about that. And there's emerged a small percentage, which you've talked about, that they have their BAs and their MBAs, and someone just finished their doctorate, but that's the small percentage. So what can we do now? Because we're going to see crime. I saw crime when I was growing up. At the same time, there was this young man who 80% of his family did crime, yet he went through that, and he still became a police officer. So what can we do? It's in the mindset. So I think, and I'll be very brief, I think every household should throw away the name parent right now. And for the African American community, we need family mayors in every household. And whoever the administrator of, we got to go in with like how you govern. It's not only just leading. How are we going to help govern with love our family? I said that because then if you're using it from the standpoint of governorship, then you're going to be having time to teach them about policies, procedures in life, and position themselves how to function in a family government. And no matter what they're exposed to outside in the world, deal with it because they've already solidified their identity. I said that because my family, we've had the family where we talked and read and things, so not a lot of TV, and no matter what people were doing, the N-words or whatever they tried to say, I came from a governorship type of family, which means they instilled in us the intelligence in our mind that no matter what someone was trying to put on me with an identity, I was prepared in the home, and all of us were. And so I think that governorship where instead of you waiting for the church to disciple your child, that you're teaching that child, you're teaching them about government, policy, procedures, laws, family, identity. And so when they get out there in the world, they'll be able to deal with that. It's a whole different concept. How many families are talking at the table? And I'm talking about governing. What are you doing today? This is our family policy. This is what we do. How are you contributing? Welcome to the community. And then, governor or mayor, then those that are outside that are much stronger. And you have them out there, those folks that just embrace the whole community, and that leader. Well, then those are your governors. Who says that the black people can't have governors? Because let me tell you, I'm going to get off the line. They know white people got governors. They just call it homeschooling. And they're changing the education system now where they can get private schools to teach them. And they're calling it everything else, but they're calling it governorship. And in their home, they're taught about extinction. That's why they're calling them white supremacists. That's why they can easily go out there and kill somebody and kill 9 or 10 people, and it's nothing because they go out there and go hunting, just like that man left Connecticut and went to New York. He went hunting for a black man. So they have their governorship. See what I mean? And so by 2050, Will we have 12% African American, or will it be 5%?
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sister T. And, you know, she raised some good points too. I want to roll back to what brother CJ said about some people with some negative comments. I'm glad they commented at all. But my point is this: life ain't all peaches and cream. People can't handle that. Chances are great they're not doing a whole lot in the community either. That's just my thing to that. So I'm not gonna really worry about those people, because there's a lot of people in the community that complain and not doing anything, not lifting a nail to do anything. And my comment to my brother Denmark about, yes, we're not bashing the young people who robbed the train. I want to make that clear. We're not bashing them, but what we are doing is shining a light on a looming problem that's brewing. And yes, when I say I'm not in the community with, you know, what's going on out there, I mean that I'm not 21 again. I'm not 18. I'm not 15 no more. I don't know what's the new cool thing at that point. That's what I mean. But what I'm saying is that if you look at history, factual history, black community since 1920, as far as I went back, if you look at the pattern of thinking of movement, there's been movements every two generations, 40 years. The Roaring 20s, prosperous development, okay? Black Wall Street, 40 years later, 1960s, Civil Rights Movement, Black Panthers. 40 years later, where we are, 2000s, the millennials, movement on pushing back from the normal way of doing things. So I want you guys to understand a few things about that. The future of strong-minded black people has never seen what we see in America today. Yes, we had violence in the past, but before our generations, there was no crack cocaine, okay? There wasn't no prescription drugs. There wasn't information technology like we have today. So if you're telling me we have to go to the community and talk to young people in the dangerous areas, I hear you. I do. But that's not going to change in my lifetime. What I look at is systems. White supremacy is a system. A system does not need people to actively run it. The next generation will take over where they left off. That's a system. McDonald's don't have the best hamburgers. They just sell the most hamburgers. They have a system. You put somebody in place there, young person, push the buttons, fries, burger, cheese. It's a system. Okay? So if you're going to combat a system, you really have to know what you're talking about and doing. Because you can do and repair. I can go and change the fries. I can go and change the bun of the burger. Profitable. Every day, just put new bodies in there. White supremacy is a system. Okay? Black community right now, we don't have a system. Okay? Everybody's focused on repairing individual pieces. I'm focused on building a system that works. So when I'm gone from this earth, the system will go on, so our kids will have a real future. And that's my day for the Tonight family. Thank you guys for listening. Follow us on YouTube, The Bay Area Black Community. Follow us on Facebook, The Bay Area Black Community. Like us and follow us on Twitter, @BayAreaBlack. And stay tuned, family. More to come. Have a good night.
Separate when you notice it's something great. Hate to hate, but I'm shaking up all the fake. About the power for our kids. We gotta save it so they can easily live. Least so my people ain't treated equal. Tired of sequels. Stories bore me. Lies kill glory. Black so beautiful, matter before me. Before extinction, we won't be preaching. Feet can't be marching. And that shit go in the coffin. Black fist, black thoughts, whites want us cut off. Right now, get rid of coons in the room. Don't assume we clean here, truck to rear. Ain't no luck, that tool truck, we know war. Life on line, we gotta fight from the core. Outnumbered, we pull back, but come around and flank you. Race soldiers don't thank you, gotta think like they do. Blaze trails we walk through, work together, don't disagree. One mind, black carpool, running over them enemies.